we go.
Pretend like we're doing yoga at sea.
It's like we're doing yoga at sea. Yeah. Oh, I still have my keys in my pocket. Okay. I have my lovely assistant Sasha here beside me today for the breathing, and then she'll get up and go over there to a yoga mat, and we'll see what happens. I'm kind of looking at just a good stretch today. Welcome if you're new. Most of this takes place on a chair. I'm going to go back to the chair behind me after we do our breath work, but you're welcome to start out on the chair or seated on the floor. If you are on the floor, I highly recommend that you have a cushion underneath your bum, as Sasha and I both do. It just really helps everything. It helps make your spine longer, helps with posture, helps with the breath because it sort of elevates your spine a little bit. So come into your seated position. And also, just to know if you're new, we also usually do this just with street clothes on. Nobody really, well, some people change because they do a more vigorous work, but I just wear street clothes. So as long as your pants are stretchy, then you should be all good. Come to seated. So nice to see Marcia's umbrella out there and the blue sky behind her. It's so beautiful out today. And take that knowledge of the beautiful blue sky, or if you're in New Brunswick, just the knowledge that the beautiful blue sky will come. And take that inside, and then begin your inhale and exhale through your nose. Close your eyes. I was going to say the weather's always nice inside your head, but that's not true either. Yeah, let's make some nice weather inside our heads. Let your lips sit gently touching. Focus on breathing in and out through your nose, gently at first. So one of the features of this series, I hesitate to call it the COVID series, but one of the features of this series of chair yoga classes is lung capacity, developing lung capacity. And part of that, part of developing lung health is working on this idea of nitric oxide production in the back of the nose, back of the throat. So we almost always do our breath with the lips closed. It generates more nitric oxide. So practice that a little bit, especially if you're used to breathing through your mouth. See how it feels. If you do get panicky with all this nose breathing, just take a few of what you consider your normal breaths and then go back to working through the nose. And notice the filtering qualities of your nostrils. It's one of the things I talk about a lot, nostrils. It's not a great word, but they are a great little invention on the front of our face. Notice how every bit of air is filtered past your nose hairs. This little filtration system that we have, so ingenious in the front of our face, filtering the air as it comes into your body. And the nostrils also slow down the air. That's another reason that we breathe through our nose, to slow down and regulate your breath. And as your breath extends a little, you can maybe extend it just a touch. Inhale and exhale, staying even. Notice the speed and the progress and the quality of your thoughts. Sometimes we don't realize that we can see and feel our thoughts. Get really quiet and just look sort of forward without opening your eyes. And you'll see lights and different things happening towards the front of your forehead, flickering. And just notice how they may be quickly going by, like maybe you're making a list of things that you had to do or that you have to do later, or that you did this morning, or that you should have done this morning. And use your breath to slow that list down. So I'm not asking you to get rid of it altogether. You're still going to have different thoughts that pop in and flicker through. But see now, just try if you can fill your thoughts with your breath. That's a funny sentence, right? Fill your thoughts with your breath. I'll give you a few tools for that. See if you can repeat mentally the word inhale as you inhale. And then the word exhale as you exhale. And you can use anything there. You can say breathe in. And breathe out. Or you can count. And this is all in aid of giving your nervous system a rest. Your nervous system is in charge of producing all those thoughts that are flickering around, buzzing around in your head like a bee. Primarily your central nervous system, your brain. And so we're going to use our autonomic nervous system, which is all the automatic stuff, the breathing, the heart rate. We're going to use all those, the body, the limbs. We're going to use all of those tools to slow down our thoughts. Give yourself a little vacation from your thoughts. So inhale, say something to yourself. Exhale, say something to yourself. See if you can make that screen in front of your eyes go a little bit darker, quieter, softer. And now, if you like, begin to sense your breath as we do. We do this often. We notice the temperature of our breath as it enters through our nostrils, swirls past the back of our throat. Gently eddies its way down your windpipe and then branches out into both sides of your lungs. And I was saying yesterday or the day before, if you've ever seen the smoke from a candle after you blow it out, that's sort of the quality of the air that is coming in. If you can imagine the air swirling in. And then swirling out again. Another word for what we're doing here is mindfulness. We are being very mindful of our bodily processes, specifically our breath. Yeah, let's begin to develop our breath now. So we're going to start working with lung capacity. And I think I'd like to do that today with a combination of astronaut breath to calm us down first, and then some sips and sucker punches. So astronaut breath, inhale through your nose for 3, hold for 4, and then exhale long, slow, deep, controlled, carefully for 7 or 8 or even 9 if you've been doing this for a while. Maybe you can even get to 10. Do it on your own counts. Inhale 3. Hold or suspend for 4. You can suspend for 5 if you like. And then exhale for whatever you're exhaling. I'm using 9 today. Take 3 more rounds of astronaut breath. And for that first inhale, you need to really kind of fill up your lungs. And then suspend gently. And then do your long exhale. And with each exhale now, let your shoulders come down as you begin to become used to this breath exercise. Let your shoulders get a little heavy on the exhale. Let your pelvis get a little heavy. And just try this breath next time that you want to take a nap or trying to fall asleep at night. It can be quite effective. Finish your last round. And then we're going to increase the size of the breath. Inhale all the way up to the top, fill up. And then we're going to take 3 more little sips, and let's go up into the emergency zone 3 times with our shoulders today. So like a little malfunctioning elevator that's going up. Shoulders are as high up as they can get on the 3rd breath or the 3rd sip, and then exhale. Your shoulders come down like an elevator. All the way down to empty, empty, empty. Shoulders are all the way down as far as they can go. Your lungs are empty. And then 3 little breaths. Maybe your shoulders can even go down more. 3 times. Really push your shoulders down. And then inhale. Shoulders come up to normal. It's nice to know where normal is. Fill up your lungs. And then once you're full, shoulders are still normal, and 3 sips, shoulders go up to the 3rd floor. Making your torso as big as you can here on the 3rd floor, and then exhale, shoulders go all the way down. When you get to normal, get to full exhale, and this is a little harder, but maybe your shoulders can go down 3 floors into the parking garage on the exhale. One more round of this. Inhale fully. Shoulders are normal and heavy and plump and exactly where they're supposed to be. And then when you're as full of air as you can, then 3 inhales, go up 3 stories. This is making our torso as big as we possibly can be. This is emergency breath territory. And then exhale. And then release your breath. Flutter your eyes open, smile your face a little bit. Relax your body. And let's come to hands and knees for cat-cow. If you're in the chair, you know what to do. Cat-cow. Ashley's going to move to the yoga mat. I'm going to move back a little bit. Exhale. We're still going to use that full breath. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow pose. Remember yesterday we practiced lion's breath? We're going to do that now, but we're going to do lion's breath in cat pose. It's going to feel a little weird. Exhale, cat pose. Open your mouth, stick your tongue out. Open your mouth as big as you can, and then inhale. Exhale, cat pose, lion's breath. Tuck your chin into your chest, pushing on your thyroid. Inhale. 2 more times. Full exhale, lion's breath. Inhale. Last time. Make your jaw as big, wide open as you can. And now we're going to go into barrel rolls. So I'll turn to face the camera. Hopefully you can see my torso. Barrel rolls look like this. So the barrel of your torso is going around in a big circle. If you're seated, it's more or less a Sufi grind. Let's coordinate this with the breath. Inhale down, exhale up. And let's coordinate it, if you like, with a lion's breath. Inhale, exhale up, lion's breath. Inhale, lion's breath. You're essentially in cat pose. One more. Lion's breath, cat pose. Switch direction. Inhale fully as your torso comes down. If you can't do the breath, it's fine. It will come with practice. 2 more, big exhale, lion's breath. Last one, big lion's breath here. And then just wiggle back and forth like a dog wagging its tail. And if you're in the chair, it looks like this. Wiggle back and forth. If you're on hands and knees, you can even look at your back foot and then look at your back foot on the other side. Couple more breaths, just working out the torso. We did a fair amount of shoulder work yesterday. Yeah, shake it out, soften the back of your neck, and then build your perfect seated posture. So if you're standing, come to standing and come to your mountain pose. On the chair, wiggle your way towards the front of your chair and build that pose. Build your mountain pose from the bottom up. Spread your toes, widen your feet, feel the full imprint. I invite you to do this barefoot, even if you're in street clothes. It's still nice to take off your socks. You don't have to, but sometimes it feels nice to connect with the floor. And build those strong ankles. Energize your pelvis a little. Drop your shoulders, and my hands are heavy on my knees here. Lift the crown of your head up towards the ceiling as if I was placing my hand on it and you were pushing into my hand. Imagine that you're providing resistance into my hand, pushing up. You need to use your abs for this. Remember what that feels like. Push up, 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 up. Push away from the floor with your feet. Push away from the chair with your sits bones. Remember what that feels like. I'm removing my hand, but keep that height. And we'll come into some sun salutes. I'll do the first one with knees bent. I'll do the second one with my knees extended. I won't do a standing one today. Inhale overhead. And if you're a regular, you've been doing this long enough, exhale, fold. You can make this up. Lots of people making up some moves here, feeling what feels good in their body. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale your right knee in. Step back with your right foot. Yeah, that's it. Exhale, fold. Inhale, long spine. You're still in your lunge if you're on the floor. Going to downward facing dog or neutral pose in the chair, hands on knees, neutral pose. Remember that lifting your head to the ceiling. Take a deep inhale. Take a deep exhale. We're going to inhale forward. Ripple forward if you're in down dog. Upward facing dog or cobra, and then exhale. Cat pose in the chair. We're doing this one nice and slowly. You can arrange the breaths any way you like. Now, if you're on the floor, you're going to step your right foot forward. If you're on the chair, you're going to pull your left knee in. Exhale, fold down. Forehead towards your knee if you're on the chair. Inhale, long spine. We're going to step up into forward fold or come into forward fold with that exhale. Inhale, half lift. Look for something new that you didn't find yesterday. Nice half lift, Sasha. Exhale, fold. Inhale up, long spine. Remember my hand on your head. Exhale, neutral. That was one half of a traditional sun salute if you're standing. Inhale with a little variation. Inhale overhead. Big inhale, fill your lungs. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Grab your knees, find somewhere new. So good for the muscles of your back. Exhale, fold. We're gonna step back with the left foot or pull our left knee in. Pull your left knee into your chest. Make your spine parallel to your shin bone, and now exhale, curl. Big inhale, long spine. Remember my hand. Exhale, fold forward, step forward if you're on the floor. Forward fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Sometimes these don't feel like much, these sun salutes. But the power of combining breath and movement cannot be overstated. I'm extending my legs now for a slightly more vigorous experience for me. Inhale, overhead. My feet are flexed and I'm on the edge of my seat, but I'm solid on the chair. Exhale, fold. I feel a lot of tugging in the back of my legs. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, right leg in or back. Full breaths. Exhale, fold. Calming power. Inhale, long spine. Calming power of movement and breath on your nervous system. Exhale, down dog, neutral. Let's take a breath cycle here in neutral, downward facing dog. You can change this up as much as you want. Let's inhale through. Upward facing dog or cow pose. Exhale back. Right foot comes forward if you're standing. Left knee comes up if you're seated. Exhale, sink into your lunge. Getting some work in the psoas if you're doing standing sun salute. Inhale long. Little work in the digestive system if you're seated. Exhale, fold. That's a variation of the wind releasing pose. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Scoop your arms, come on up. Exhale, neutral. Looks so beautiful, you guys, especially the ones that are doing it outside. Inhale, overhead. Inhale all that fresh, delicious outside air that is unpolluted right now. Exhale, dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, left foot back or left knee in this time. Exhale, round your spine. This is wind relieving pose. Inhale, long spine. Exhale, neutral pose, downward facing dog. Ripple through, cobra pose or cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. Find something you couldn't find before. Left foot steps forward into the other lunge. Right leg comes up if you're seated. And exhale, drop into your lunge, fold into your knee. I'm really pressing my forehead into my knee these days. Inhale, long spine. Straighten your legs if you want to do a long forward fold. Exhale, step up into forward fold. Or just swan dive forward. Inhale, half lift. Last time, use your belly, tone your belly. Remember my hand on your head, and exhale, fold. And then inhale up. Exhale, neutral pose. Mountain pose if you're standing. Take another breath. Let's go straight into that IT band stretch that we did yesterday, standing. If you're on the chair, walk to the side of your chair. It's good to repeat poses from one day to the other so they get really in your body, really embodied. So I'm standing on the left side of my chair. If you're just standing in the middle of the room, you're just gonna go over. So take your outside foot, my left foot is going over my right, and take your left arm up in the air and lean away from your hip with your upper arm. You can lean on your chair for support here. Push your hip way out, as far away from your upper fingers as you can, as far away from the chair as you can, and take a deep inhale and a deep exhale. I love holding on to the chair for support here. On your next inhale, maybe peek up under your underarm just a little bit. Notice how that changes the stretch to the front side body. And now exhale. Inhale. Slowly come up. It's a little bit of a balancing pose. Walk to the other side of your chair. Take your right foot over your left. Get nice and solid first. Solidify your shoulders, make them parallel to the ground. And then we start our hinge. So we're hinging away or towards the chair. And you lift, I'm lifting my right arm, and my right arm is going over the chair in a big rainbow shape. I'm holding on to my chair with my left hand for balance. And I'm pushing away from the chair with my hip. Really find that full pose here. And then maybe on the next inhale, peek under your armpit a little bit. Look up gently to the ceiling. Inhale to your front side body. And then gently energize your belly. Come on up to standing. If you're standing in the middle of the room, spread your legs apart. If you're seated, you can come back to the chair, spread your legs apart as well, and take a forward fold here. So we just did a little bit of work in the side body. I would like to kind of pendulum side to side here. So I'm going over to one leg, and I'm going over to the other. Same with you're standing. You can bring your body over to one side and then the other. I'm trying to get a little bit of movement and stretch into that front side body, that thing, that part of the body that we just stretched in that side stretch. One more side to side. Come back to center. You can jump your feet together if you're standing. Stand in mountain pose. Let's take warrior two. We haven't done warrior two for a while. Step your left foot out into a right angle and your right foot back. It's almost straight. I'm really low on this chair, so it's going to be interesting, but it's kind of a nice challenge. Your front foot, or my left foot in this case, it's facing directly to the side. I have a 90-degree angle bend in this knee, and this leg is mostly straight, but it doesn't have to be totally straight. You can have a little bit of a bend in it if you're in the chair, but find all your toes and head them towards the floor. Make them heavy and head them towards the floor. Can't see my toes because they're under my cushion here. So this is just good work for your feet. You can see my ankle working here to push my baby toe towards the floor. And then put your shoulders over top of your hips. Extend your arms long. Look over your left fingertips. Lower your shoulders. Take a few good deep breaths. Remember the thing we do here where we push into the floor and lift our arms? So push into the floor, lift your arms. Inhale, and then exhale, sink down. Getting a little work in our hips. So if you're standing, that front knee is straightening just a touch. Back leg is staying mostly straight. Exhale down. One more. Inhale up. Exhale down. Now here's a Christine Price Clark move, one of my favorite teachers. Find a diagonal reach here. If you're in the chair, it might not be far. It might just be a tiny bit. If you're on the floor, you can reach all the way down to the floor. Maybe if you're in the chair, you might be able to reach all the way down. And this is kind of like a sideways or a diagonal warrior two. Take a breath. Extend your body long. It's kind of like child's pose and warrior two all together in one pose. If you're in the chair, maybe you're up like this, but you're feeling a big stretch through the body. Come on up, everybody. And then come to center. Warrior pose. Bring your hands to your knees. Let's take a few shoulder dips here like we do. Dip one, dip two. Just kind of going to center. If you're standing, you're doing exactly the same thing. It's just your bum is not in the chair. And then we're going to switch it up. So now I'm going to take my right leg over parallel to the chair or the couch, almost parallel. I'm going to extend my left leg behind me and reach all my toes towards the floor. Put my shoulders over top of my hips. So my shoulders are facing you guys, facing the device. Inhale your arms long. And take a breath. Do a little bit of leg mobilization here. Push into your front leg if you're standing, both legs if you're seated. As if you're lifting your bum off the chair, just a tiny touch, and then exhale down. If you're standing, you're coming up maybe an inch, 2 inches. Inhale up, hands go overhead. Big inhale, exhale down. Last one, big inhale, push into the floor with your feet. Exhale down. And now reach your hands towards the inside of your foot. A little bit of a diagonal. It's going to feel a little bit different. Maybe you can reach the floor. It depends on the height of your chair. If you're standing, you can definitely reach the floor. Lean your fingers into the floor. Take a deep breath. Gently come up. And bring your legs together, shake it out. If you're standing, you might want to come back into child's pose like Sasha's doing. If you're seated, just take a couple of breaths. Just knowing that this breath work is always here for you. Get really calm before we do our twists. Maybe we'll actually do eagle. I kind of feel like eagle pose. So flutter your eyes open. If you want to come back up to standing, if you're standing, you can, or you can do eagle arms on the floor. Inhale your arms overhead. Then exhale, let's do hug first. Bring your right arm under your left and give yourself a big hug. Move your fingers towards each other across your back. Just to make them kind of move like worms towards each other, crawling across your back towards each other. And then take a deep scoop your right arm under your left. So you can go back to the hug if the hug is what works for you. Palm to palm is an option here, or back of the hand to back of the hand. Whatever kind of feels the most comfortable. And then we're going to move those elbows. So move your elbows up on an inhale. Move your elbows down on an exhale. Feel any popping or cracking, just welcome that. Fascia is getting warmed up back there. 3 times. So this is 2. Third time. Bring your fingertips as high as they comfortably go. Look into your elbows, elbow creases if you can. And then forward fold. If you're sitting on the ground, extend your legs, forward fold. You can extend if you're in the chair as well. Just take a resting breath here. Belly is soft. Big, huge breath. Inhale your way back up, and these are the last postures that we're doing. So make sure you get your belly nice and engaged, nice and toned. You're making these moves with your belly. Some of them inhale your fingers to touch overhead. You can even look up at this point if you like. We're going to take the left arm underneath the right and find your hug. Worm crawl your fingers across your back. Feeling for all those structures. You can even feel into your scapulae, your shoulder blades. You can feel the ribs underneath them. You can feel all those little sensitive places under there as you wiggle around a little bit. And then on your next exhale, just exhale your arms out. Inhale your arms overhead, fingertips come to touch. And your left arm is going to scoop under your right this time. Hug again if you like, or eagle arms, palm to palm, back of hand to back of hand. You can even scrunch and curl up your fingers if it's more comfortable here. They don't need to be perfectly straight like this. They could be scrunched as long as you then begin to move up and down 3 times on your breath. Notice if the popping and clicking is different on this side. Notice if your shoulder blades might feel a little different on this side. One last time. Big, huge inhale. And then again, that release of the forward fold. Release your arms. Come forward, gentle, gentle, gentle dive. Your knees can be quite bent or just a little bit bent here. Mine are just a tiny touch bent, but my feet are flexed. That gives me a little more sensation behind my legs, a little more stretching into my full range of motion of my hamstring muscles behind my legs. Begin to gently work your way up. Come to neutral pose, seated, let your shoulders go down. Take a breath. Last pose, let's go into a twist here. So bring your right leg over your left. So if you're seated, you're doing exactly the same thing. You can leave your leg extended if you want, if you're seated, but if you're, on the floor, if you're in the chair, you probably want it bent. And just take a breath here, just getting used to this posture. My right leg is over my left leg, as if I'm sitting on a park bench or a fancy velvet chair. Inhale your arms overhead. We're going to twist right. Exhale, twist right. You can bring your elbow to your knee, your hand to your knee, bring your hand to the back of the chair. Use those arm muscles to get yourself a little extra twist. And remember that sensation of my hand on the top of your head? On your inhale, push into my hand. On the exhale, twirl your shoulders a little bit towards the back of your chair. Inhale, lengthen into my hand. Exhale, twirl a tiny bit. You can even twirl your head a little bit. Look at the back of your chair. Release your arms, come back to center. And we're going to take that little bow, that little counter pose, little tiny bow. I'm bowing left. Just getting into middle body. Come back to center. Switch your legs. Left leg over right. And just settle here. Inhale, overhead. We're going to twist the left this time. So bring your right hand to your legs, left hand to the chair behind you or beside you. Turn into the twist. Twist away from your legs. Remember, inhale, my hand is on your head, spine is long, lengthening. Exhale, twisting. Our vertebrae, all of them, there's so many of them. Inhale long, exhale, twist. There's so many of them, and our vertebrae are quite craggy and they kind of fit together in funny ways. And we need to really lengthen that situation in between to give space to coax that synovial fluid in and then release, come back towards the center, and then take your little bow towards the right. A little counter pose, more of that coaxing of the synovial fluid into the joint spaces. Come back to center. If you're on the floor, begin to come back down to lying down. We didn't do any abs today, but I think we'll do abs tomorrow. Maybe we'll even do sexy jellyfish. Sasha's doing some abs over there right now. Come back to relaxation pose. Wiggle your way back onto the chair so that you feel the chair behind your knees. If you're on a couch or something, you can lean all the way back. This is what I did yesterday. I leaned all the way back. Turn your palms so they face the ceiling. Now wiggle your feet on the floor a little bit, just to feel the floor underneath you. How much can you feel underneath you? If you're lying down, you're in Shavasana on your back, and you can probably feel a great deal of the floor underneath you. Right now, see what you can feel. Floor under your feet, the chair under your knees and legs. Maybe you can even feel the chair on the back of your shoulder blades. We're going back into this idea of mindfulness, of being right where we are. So we did a fair amount of moving and breathing and manipulating our fascia. Got our nervous system kind of going a little bit. Now we want to settle our nervous system back down. This is all practice. Practice moving from sympathetic tone to parasympathetic tone. And that's where we're going right now. Feel the back of your hands on your legs. Notice your fingers. Let them be relaxed and curled. Let them be very, very soft. Soften your toes. Swallow to release your throat. Maybe even roll your neck from side to side to release the back of your neck if you're lying down. Soften your shoulders. We did a fair amount of shoulder work today. There should be a little bit of tingling or warmth there. Use that tingling or warmth. Imagine that I'm coming around to you and I'm pushing down on your shoulders. Just gently, I'm letting gravity and the extra weight of my hands lean your shoulders towards the floor. If you're sitting upright in the chair, that looks more like your shoulders are just getting really heavy. Let your pelvis get heavy too. Eyes are closed. Come back to that sensation of your breath swirling in through your nostrils. Fresh and cool as it enters, moist and warm as it exits. And this process goes on all day and all night for your entire life. This magic exchange of gases feeding all the cells. Let all your cells be soft and fed. Effortless breath. Release the space between your eyebrows. Soften and smooth your forehead. Release the muscles of your face. Soften your jaw, your tongue. Imagine that you can release every hair follicle, that your entire scalp is soft and warm. And now we'll practice coming back, but staying soft. Begin to wiggle your fingers and toes. Let your eyes gently open and start to come up to the top floor like an elevator. Slowly open your eyes. Slowly let the light in. Let the data in. If you're leaning back, you can come back up to seated. Energize your belly. If you're on the floor, gently pull your knees into your chest and rock a little bit side to side. If you're sitting up, let your head just gently balance side to side, waking up the muscles in your neck and chin. If you're on the floor, you can roll over into fetal pose. If you're on the chair, you can rotate your shoulders in nice circles, going backwards and then forwards. And then maybe a few little kayaks with your shoulders, kayak paddles back and front. Shake out your hands, smile your face, deepen your breath, and we're back. All right,